John Fairfax, newspaper pioneer. As a young country moving from its convict settlement origins to new 19th century respectability, newspapers played a vital role in our search for national identity. A young Englishman was to play the leading role. John Fairfax arrived in Sydney on 26 September 1838 with his family and £5 in his pocket, and valuable experience from working with London's Morning Chronicle, the very same newspaper where Charles Dickens was to work a short time later. In 1841, in partnership with the journalist Charles Kemp, he purchased the Sydney Herald, a newspaper established by 3 journalists who had worked at the colony's first newspaper, the Sydney Gazette. Fairfax, although employed as a journalist at the Australian Subscription Library, was readily able to assist with mechanical typesetting and management of the Sydney Herald after hours, often retiring to bed at 4 a.m. The owner of the newspaper, being impressed with Fairfax's industrious nature and knowledge of printing, eventually offered to sell the business to him. John Fairfax believed strongly in the newspaper's integrity of editorial management, being conducted upon principles of candour, honesty and honour. We have no wish to mislead, no interest to gratify by unsparing abuse or indiscriminate approbation. In the first years, the partners had to do almost everything themselves: reporting, editing, leader writing, as well as the mechanical work of producing the paper. In 1853, at the beginning of the gold rush mania, Fairfax bought Kemp out and changed the banner to the distinctive Sydney Morning Herald. It became the first newspaper in the colonies to be printed by steam press. His 2 sons, Charles and James, joined the company, and the firm became John Fairfax and Sons. The Fairfax publishing dynasty had commenced. It continued to control the business for almost 150 years. Although extremely powerful in colonial affairs, John Fairfax was considered an exemplary citizen. He was a director of several major colonial businesses, including the Australian Mutual Provident Society and the Australian Gaslight Company. He was elected a member of the Legislative Council in 1870, the Honourable John Fairfax, MLC. The Herald was part of him. In his heart it ranked next to the Bible. Once he told a young member of his staff, "To learn what great things God has done for mankind in the past, read your Bible. And to learn what he permits to be done today, read the Herald." John Fairfax died in June 1887, aged 73 years. His legacy is published daily. John Fairfax is buried in the congregational section of Rookwood Cemetery.